When it's time to replace your appliances, Lowe's has you covered. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. And members get more like free delivery, haul-away, basic installation and parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select major appliances. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowes.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Shop with Rakuten and you'll get it. What's it? It's the real deal. Cash back and savings on almost everything you buy. Join Rakuten and start getting cash back at CVS, Instacart, YSL Beauty, and other stores you love. You can even stack sales on top of cash back. Just start shopping with Rakuten to save money and get that cash back feeling. Join for free at Rakuten.com or get the free Rakuten app. That's RAKUTEN, Rakuten.com.
DSW, birthplace of the humble brag. Here, the shoes are so good, no one would ever know how little you paid. If you didn't go telling everyone, that is. And with never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices, we'll definitely give you something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands, or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or at DSW.com. Let us surprise you.
Hey, Trojan family, what's up? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud, talking USC recruiting. Have a couple updates we'll be firing at you rapidly throughout this evening, starting first with the number 1 California wide receiver, Quentin Hale. I've been talking a lot about the receiving recruitment in this 2027 class. USC likely to take between 2 and 4 receivers. To me, I feel like it's more like 2 or 3. I would personally be surprised they took 4, but depending on how things shake out, could happen. But I just feel like taking 6 and 4 back-to-back years is quite a lot. So to me, it's more in that 2 to 3 range. And Quentin Hale, to me, is probably the number 1 receiver priority for USC right now. A lot of other guys are going after. We've talked about Eli Woodard, who's actually going to announce his commitment tomorrow, February 10th, and USC is the clear leader for him based on a lot of other crystal balls and reporting, and I talked about him a few days ago, and the expectation is that he will commit to USC tomorrow. So that would be 1 receiver right there on the board, and then you basically have 1 to 2 spots left, in my opinion. But Quentin Hale, I think, is one of the main priorities. Luckily, him and Woodard are fairly different style receivers, so they would complement each other nicely within the class. But Hale, like I said, the number 1 receiver in California, the number 7 overall receiver in the class, according to Rivals industry ranking. Very versatile. I think he can play inside or out. Size-wise, he's built more like an outside receiver, 6'3", currently 175, but I think he can definitely play inside as well. Really, wherever you need him, I think he has the versatility to be that guy. So just transferred high school-wise from, inner city, I think Cathedral, Los Angeles high school, and transferred to public powerhouse Corona Centennial that he will play at now in the fall, and we'll see what that adds to his prospects, adds to maybe his prowess when it comes to top-ranked receiver, but I don't think that'll change really his recruiting in terms of who's after him, which everyone is after him right now. So USC is kind of at the top. I would say they're one of the leaders in the clubhouse, but do not sleep on Oklahoma. Oklahoma has made a big push. He has visited Oklahoma 2 times, visited SC like 6 times. Obviously the local school been there a lot more, but he's talks to Oklahoma a lot. We know Oklahoma has a fairly rich history with receivers. Now that rich history was more so when Lincoln Riley was the coach there. When you think of Hollywood Brown and CeeDee Lamb and guys like that, I think it's fallen off a little bit since then. But Oklahoma is still a very good program. And, he said that they feel like family, have shown a lot of love and really ramped up their recruiting. So based on some reporting from our good friend Scott Strader, this is a commitment that could happen in February. He could announce in February, but in no real rush. And it's really going to come down to his visit schedule. He's looking at potentially visiting LSU and potentially getting back to OU, I would assume, for an official visit. And then obviously some potential other schools might be mixed in there, as he is one of the top receivers in the game. So it's going to come down to that schedule. Could come in February. Personally, I would expect it to not come that early on. He himself seems like he's kind of taking his time, like I just mentioned, the visits, but also knowing USC and what they're looking for after a commitment, it would feel rushed if he did it in February. Now, if he did it in February and it came to USC, then I guess he's happy with the visits he's taken because he knows he's not taking it anymore. So I guess that would potentially be a good thing. But to me, I think he's going to want to take more of those visits and see more what is out there to be offered before making that ultimate decision. So I think it'll happen more in kind of the March, April, maybe even bleed into May when the official visits begin happening. Because, as we know, if he does choose USC, that's a wrap on what else he can see. But certainly things going well with USC. It's funny. Rival shows Chad Savage as the lead recruiter, but he mentions when talking to Scott Schrader, Dennis Simmons, and the importance that Dennis Simmons has in his recruiting and the constant communication in development of receivers, in how he has portrayed kind of what his role would be within the USC offense. So that doesn't mean Chad Savage isn't involved, but I think based on just an actual direct conversation, Dennis Simmons is more the lead recruiter in this, which would then lead us to believe they see him more as an outside threat versus an inside receiver, even though he can play both. So again, just hats off to say, I think Dennis Simmons is one of the most underrated recruiters in college football and one of the most underrated developers in college football. You look at USC's receiving prospects since Lincoln Riley's been here, and Dennis Simmons has done a fantastic job. They had the one kind of down year 2, and it was, again, no disrespect to Brendan Rice or Taj Washington, but it was just kind of a drop off of talent in that room. But every year there's been kind of top quality guys. We've seen a lot of really good receiving development and guys that have then gone on and done some good things. You think of Jordan Addison. Yeah, it was just 1 year, but obviously how dominant he was and being a first round pick. And then, obviously last year and the year prior, kind of some changes and shifts. But what we saw with Jacoby Lane this year, now what we're seeing with, the young freshman phenom in Tanuk Hines and kind of this incoming class. So I think Dennis Simmons is one of the elite receiving coaches in the game and just doesn't get talked about enough. So definitely deserves some flowers here. And he will be a huge reason why Quentin Hale, if he does commit to USC, Dennis Simmons will be a huge reason for that. So commitment could come in February. I would expect to be later, so I wouldn't hold your breath on that. Like I said, Eli Woodard is announcing tomorrow. So if he does commit to USC, there's one spot taken. There may only be 2 left. There may only be 1 left, depending how many they take. So it'll be interesting to see how the receiving recruiting really ramps up over the next month, if that does happen to tomorrow, which, I've got you covered when that announcement does come through the pipeline. So hit that like and subscribe button. I got more recruiting news coming for you right here at the USC LAFB channel. As always, family, fight on. Hey, Trojan family, Ryan Dyrud here from the USC LAFB show, and I've got to tell you about a brand new feature by our friends at Sleeper. Hopefully you've been using Sleeper all this time, but if not, you've got to go download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, and they've just added a brand new feature, which is so much fun. So on top of the great DFS feature, which, if you don't know, pick any player across any sport. You choose 2 to 8. Just choose more or less. You can stack, like I said, 2 to 8 players and win some real money potentially. So, you pick more or less yards, more or less touchdowns, more or less points, whatever it might be, whatever sport vertical you use. That's the DFS feature. But now they just launched the team pick feature. So now it's as simple as picking which team you think will win each game. So football season now over, obviously. Unfortunately, we got a long wait ahead of us. Don't worry, we got you covered here at USC LAFB for all your USC needs. But you can still go and choose the Lakers whenever game they're playing. You can choose the LA Kings. Any sport vertical still playing. Baseball, just around the corner. Dodgers, World Series champions, going for the three-peat. Yeah, once that season kicks off, or I guess that's the wrong word to use, but once that season gets going, you can now choose the Dodgers in their game, whichever team you think will win. So go to the Sleeper app, download it today. In the tabs, you can toggle between players or teams when you're on the picks tab. It's that easy to find. And today, if you're a first-time user, so if you haven't downloaded it yet, I don't know what you're doing if you watch this show, but go download the Sleeper app today and you get a free $20 entry for picks, whether that's team picks or player picks. Make sure to use our promo code USCLAFB. So no deposit required to get this free $20 entry, but when you use that promo code USCLAFB, you're going to get a free match bonus up to $100. So you put in $100 in your deposit, they're going to give you a free $100. You put in $20, they'll give you $20 free to play with. So you're doubling your deposit right off the bat, plus the free $20. What more could you ask for? Sleeper app today. Use the promo code USCLAFB and tell them Ryan over at the USC LAFB sent you.
With Car Guru's Discover, you can skip the filters and describe what you're looking for in your own words. Simply type what you want, and Car Guru's Discover instantly surfaces real listings that match your exact needs. It's no wonder Car Guru's is the #1 most visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.